I know some of you are probably working on the incorrect assumption that the start of the new football season is over a week away, but those of us who operate in the real world of proper lower league EFL football know the season starts this weekend. Specifically, if we want to be really accurate about it, it starts in Peterborough, 3 o'clock on Saturday, Posh versus Plymouth, with some other guy doing the match day announcing, but we're not going to worry about that. What we are going to do is have a look to see what Football Manager 17 thinks is going to happen across the 3 leagues of the English Football League. We're going to look at Football Manager 17 predictions for the Championship, League 1 and League 2. I've downloaded the most up-to-date database I could find that I was allowed to use at short notice without getting permission of the creator. The link to that is down in the description below, so if you want to have a look at this and have a go at your own simulation of the upcoming season, feel free to do that, but I've done it for you, saving you a little bit of time. So we're going to start with the Championship, and let's have a look to see who is going to be going up to the Premier League at the end of this season, because obviously if Football Manager says it's true, it must be true. So let's get into the Championship, have a look at the final league table, and there you go. That's what's going to happen in the EFL Championship in the upcoming season. Middlesbrough are going to win the league. They're going to win it at a landslide as well. 11 points clear at the top of the league. No Britta Sonvalonga on the top goal scorer chart, so that's a little bit upsetting. And they're going to be accompanied by Ipswich and Fulham. Reading... Yeah, Fulham winning the playoffs in a final against Reading. Wolves, with all the money that they've been hurling around all over the place, can only manage playoff semi-final defeat. Lost to Fulham, the eventual playoff winners in the playoff semi-finals. Just skimming down to see if there's any major surprises. Hull not managing to get back into the playoffs on their return to the Championship. Sunderland faring even worse with a mid-table finish. George Boyd's Sheffield Wednesday down in 12th place. Let's just have they actually got George Boyd in the team. Oh, there he is, look. What a wonderful, wonderful man. The finest player in the history of football. Nonsense. That's just not in any way accurate as to the kind of season George Boyd's going to have. I would expect Sheffield Wednesday to be much, much higher up, spearheaded by the finest player ever to grace a football pitch. Villa and QPR, Leeds, Forest, these teams are all going to be disappointed with finishes down in this bottom half of the season. Probably not as disappointed as Norwich, who barely escaped relegation right there at the death of the season. Bolton managing to survive in their season back up in the Championship, and quite comfortably in the end. It looked like it was any one from 4 to go down. Sheffield United fans will be very upset to see that Football Manager 17 feels like you guys are going straight back down again, and you're going to be joined by Burton. Burton are well adrift at the bottom of the league there, and Preston are going to be the other 2 teams relegated from the Championship. If we have a look at the player stats, then the players to watch in the Championship in this upcoming season, our top goal scorer is going to be Sam Gallagher. This is where my knowledge of the Championship is going to be a little bit iffy. Sam Gallagher of Birmingham, who is on loan from Southampton. Fingers crossed he's actually on loan there in real life, although the fact that he's played a game for Southampton this season suggests he's almost certainly not. So I did disable first transfer window transfer budgets to try and stop stuff like that happening, but they've obviously just taken him on loan. Steve Morrison, though, he exists in real life, doesn't he? He's actually at Millwall, I think. He's going to finish second in the top goal scorers. And yeah, there's no sign of Britta Sonvalonga at all. How has that happened? The £15 million man. We're obviously checking all the he's at Saint Etienne. On loan from... What is that about? So, according to Football Manager, Britta Sonvalonga, the £15 million signing for Middlesbrough, is not going to play a game for you, and in January is going to go out on loan in France for next to nothing and not do very well. If that ends up happening, that'll be a little bit of a surprise. Best player in the Championship in the upcoming season is going to be Michael Dawson of Hull, and John Terry in his season at Villa is going to be the 4th best player in the league, apparently. I'd be really surprised if John Terry plays 40 games in the upcoming season, but apparently Football Manager knows something that I don't. Good to see another former Posh player in the shape of Ryan Bennett knocking around in the top 14, and there's a lot of defenders on that list. I mean, that's basically who's going to be the best defender in the division. I don't know who Daniel Pudel is. He's a defender. So it's going to be the year of the defender in the Championship this season. If you're not a defender, you're not going to have a very good year. So bear that in mind if you're a midfielder or a striker in the Championship and you're getting ready for a new season, you want to be your best player at your club. I mean, apparently if you're a £15 million striker, you're just going to get sent out on loan. Midfielders aren't going to perform, and it's going to all be about defenders all year long. That's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Right, let's have a look at League One. This is where the action really takes place. So League One, our final league table. Oh, look at the state of that. My beloved Peterborough United are going to be in a relegation battle, according to... I mean, this... I'm starting to trust this database and Football Manager less and less. I don't know where the fault lies, but I can't be very happy at seeing Posh down in 18th place. Blackburn winning the title was probably not unrealistic, with Rotherham going up with them. Oxford going up with them too through the playoffs. That's a bit of a stretch, maybe. Doncaster as well, finishing third on their return to League One after, didn't they bottle the end of their League Two season last year and only come up through the skin of their teeth? So I'd be surprised if they fly straight up into a playoff position. Scunthorpe and Charlton rounding out the playoffs. And then it's a fairly standard looking League One table in mid-table there. Portsmouth, they came up last year as well, didn't they? Blackpool surviving and finishing above Posh. I mean, the only silver lining on there is Northampton getting relegated on goal difference as well. But as long as they go down, everybody's happy. And then Oldham, Shrewsbury and Plymouth. I know there's a lot of Plymouth fans knocking around on this channel from when we managed them earlier on in the season. Well, I've got some bad news for you Plymouth fans. You're finishing bottom of League One this year and heading down into the murky depths of League Two for the start of next season. Let's have a look at the player stats. So top scorer in the league is going to be Paddy Madden of Scunthorpe, Mason Bennett, Kwesi Appiah. There you go. We've got a former Posh player represented there. Kieran Agard played for Posh for like 2 games as well. This is very much who's who of where Posh players are likely to end up. Is it all about defenders down in League One though? Now this is where I'm going to struggle to know if they're defenders or not. Although to be fair, I know he is. I don't think I know who you are. Yeah, okay. This is starting to feel like it might be a Football Manager thing. Oh no, Sam Morsey's going to be the best, potentially the best non-defender in the whole of English football in the coming season. There's no Peter. Oh, there you go. Andrew Hughes, a left back, is the best player representing Posh. I mean, if that's how things turn out, this is going to be a miserable, miserable season for me. I mean, the only silver lining here is it looks like I'm going to go to bed content on Saturday. But from then on, it's just going to be misery upon misery. Ugh, that's horrible. Did Grant McCann make it through to the end of the season? Surely he didn't after a performance like that. Billy Davis coming in and saving Posh from relegation. Again, I'd be surprised if that ends up happening. And let's have a little look down into League Two as well to see what's going on in League Two. So we have Wycombe, Coventry and Luton as the teams getting promoted out of League Two automatically. And they're going to be joined by playoff winners Swindon, who finish in 7th place and win the playoffs. Oh, it's always fun when a team does that. Cambridge getting into the playoffs, but thankfully getting knocked out of the playoffs before they make it as far as Wembley. And Chesterfield and Colchester rounding out the playoff picture in League Two. Any surprises as we go down the league? Not so much, really. Morecambe and Lincoln going down. I mean, Lincoln with Michael Boswick in defence, again, a former Posh player. I'd be surprised if they went down with a League One quality player in their team. But according to Football Manager, it doesn't matter who you sign and how much you pay them. You're still going to finish rock bottom, 10 points clear of safety. How does Michael Boswick get on? It appears he's not there. Hang on. Michael Boswick's still at Peterborough. This is supposed to be an up-to-date database. Come on, Kev. I've done a 10-minute video on this. Hold on. This is how we find out if it's an up-to-date database. No, he's at Wolves. This is definitely an up-to-date database, just only not as up-to-date as it maybe might have been. So, Lincoln, you might just save yourselves if Michael Bostwick ends up being the signing of the century. And if we have a look at the player stats down in League 2 as well, we've got a top scorer of Dan Holman at Cheltenham, John Stead, Chris Porter scoring lots of goals as well. And then the best defenders in the league, presumably it is at this level as well. Alfie Jones, I don't know who you are. Let's guess you're a defender. What do you know? You're a defender. Jack Grimmer, defender? Defender. Excellent. And let's pick on the third one. Timmy Elsnick. I'm gonna throw it out there and say he's probably wow, he's a winger. Goodness me, an actual winger. Number 10, a left-footed right winger is going to be the third best player in League 2 in the upcoming season. And I know we're officially doing an EFL preview, but it wouldn't be a full EFL preview if we didn't have a look to see which teams are going to be joining the EFL at the end of the season. So if we just jump down one more league to the conference, I didn't include it in the game. Well played, Kev. Well played. Hopefully you found your team somewhere on that list. I will be doing this again for the Premier League next week, so we can have a proper look to see how the Premier League is going to finish this season. But as far as I'm concerned, I've seen no evidence to prove that this upcoming statement is wrong. That is guaranteed fact. That is how all three of the EFL divisions are going to turn out over the course of this season. If it doesn't turn out that way, it's because of some unknown variable that happens between me recording this on Thursday afternoon and the actual season starting on Friday night. So obviously that kind of stuff's beyond my control, and if it happens, it happens, and this might not all come true, but I'm expecting it to be absolutely spot on. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down in the comments what you are expecting to happen to your team or to the divisions that you're interested in. I'd love to get a nice conversation going on that. And if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more stuff like this, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for oodles more Football Manager and FIFA and whatever else content that we've got knocking around on the channel. And thank you very much for watching.